In the realm of international trade, tariffs act like border taxes, levied on goods imported from other countries. Reciprocal tariffs take this concept a step further. Imagine two countries, each imposing tariffs on the other's goods. Reciprocal tariffs aim to level the playing field. If one country raises tariffs, the other responds in kind, matching the increase. This strategy is meant to discourage protectionist measures and encourage fair trade practices. However, this balancing act can have unintended consequences. When both countries engage in a tariff war, it can disrupt global trade flows. Businesses face uncertainty, consumers grapple with higher prices, and economic growth can be stifled. The effectiveness of reciprocal tariffs as a negotiating tool remains a subject of debate among economists and policymakers. Former US President Donald Trump championed an America First trade policy. Central to this approach was the aggressive use of tariffs, particularly reciprocal tariffs. Trump believed that previous US administrations had negotiated poorly, resulting in unfair trade deals that disadvantaged American businesses and workers. His administration imposed tariffs on a wide range of goods from various countries, including China, the European Union, and India. The stated objective was to protect American industries from what Trump perceived as unfair competition and to reduce the US trade deficit. This protectionist stance sent shockwaves through the global trading system, igniting trade tensions with several key US partners. India, a rising economic powerhouse, found itself caught in the crossfire of Trump's tariff policy. The US, being India's largest export market, plays a crucial role in India's economic growth. The pharmaceutical sector, a cornerstone of India's export basket, faced significant challenges. India is a major supplier of generic drugs to the US, offering affordable alternatives to expensive brand-name medications. However, the Trump administration's tariffs on Indian pharmaceuticals threatened to disrupt this trade flow, potentially impacting both the affordability of healthcare in the US and the profitability of Indian pharmaceutical companies. This situation highlighted the interconnectedness of global trade and the ripple effects of protectionist measures. Faced with mounting trade pressures, India adopted a multi-pronged approach to mitigate the negative impacts of US tariffs. Recognizing the vulnerability of relying too heavily on a single market, India actively pursued diversification of its export destinations. This strategy involves strengthening trade ties with other rapidly growing economies in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Furthermore, India focused on enhancing its domestic manufacturing capabilities and moving up the value chain. By producing higher-value goods and services, India aimed to reduce its dependence on low-cost manufacturing and become more competitive in the global marketplace. This strategic shift required significant investments in infrastructure, technology, and skill development. Section 5, a trade tapestry, unraveling the US-India trade relationship. To understand the complexities of the US-India trade relationship, it's essential to delve into the numbers. These figures reveal the intricate dance of imports and exports that define the economic ties between these two nations. The US has consistently been India's primary export market, accounting for a substantial portion of India's total exports. This relationship has been built over decades, with both countries benefiting from the exchange of goods and services. In recent years, India has enjoyed a growing trade surplus with the US, exporting more goods and services to the US than it imports. This surplus has been a point of pride for India, showcasing its growing economic prowess. However, this seemingly positive trade balance masked underlying tensions. Despite the surplus, there were significant disagreements on trade policies and practices. The US had raised concerns about India's high tariffs on certain US goods, particularly in sectors like agriculture and dairy. These tariffs were seen as barriers to fair trade by American producers. India, in turn, argued that its tariffs were necessary to protect its domestic industries and farmers from being undercut by heavily subsidized US imports. This protectionist stance was crucial for the livelihood of millions of Indian farmers. These contrasting perspectives on trade barriers lay at the heart of the trade friction between the two countries. The ongoing negotiations and discussions aim to find a middle ground that benefits both nations. Section 6. Expert opinions deciphering the tariff tangle. The imposition of reciprocal tariffs by the Trump administration sparked a heated debate among trade experts, with differing views on its potential effectiveness and long-term implications. Some experts argued that reciprocal tariffs, while disruptive in the short term, could serve as a wake-up call for countries engaging in unfair trade practices. They believed that the threat of retaliatory tariffs could incentivize countries to negotiate more balanced trade deals. However, other experts cautioned against the dangers of protectionism, arguing that reciprocal tariffs could escalate into damaging trade wars. They highlighted the interconnectedness of the global economy, emphasizing that trade barriers erected by one country could have cascading effects on global supply chains and harm businesses and consumers worldwide. Section 7. Seeking common ground, the quest for a trade agreement. Despite the trade tensions, both India and the US recognize the importance of a strong bilateral trade relationship. The economic ties between the two nations have been growing steadily over the years, with both countries benefiting from increased trade and investment. The two countries had been engaged in negotiations for a comprehensive bilateral trade agreement, or BTA, for several years. These discussions aimed to address various trade barriers and enhance economic cooperation. However, progress had been slow due to disagreements on key issues, including market access for agricultural goods, intellectual property protection, and data localization requirements. These issues are critical for both nations as they impact significant sectors of their economies. The imposition of reciprocal tariffs added a new layer of complexity to these negotiations. These tariffs affected a wide range of products, from agricultural goods to technology, making the stakes even higher. Some analysts believed that the pressure from tariffs could provide the impetus for both countries to make concessions and reach a mutually beneficial trade agreement. They argued that the economic costs of prolonged trade tensions would push both sides to find a resolution. Others, however, feared that the tariffs could further strain the relationship and make it more challenging to find common ground. The political climate in both countries added to the uncertainty, with leaders facing pressure from domestic industries and interest groups. Section 8. Beyond tariffs, defense ties and strategic convergence. While trade remained a point of contention, the US-India relationship extended far beyond economics. The two countries shared common strategic interests in the Indo-Pacific region, particularly in countering China's growing assertiveness. In recent years, India and the US had deepened their defense cooperation, conducting joint military exercises and increasing arms sales. The US saw India as a key partner in its strategy to maintain a free and open Indo-Pacific region. India, for its part, sought to enhance its military capabilities to deter potential threats from China and Pakistan. This strategic convergence created a strong incentive for both countries to find ways to manage their trade differences and strengthen their overall relationship. Section 9. Charting the course, the future of India-US trade. The future of India-US trade relations remains uncertain. While both nations have shown interest in strengthening their economic ties, the path forward is fraught with challenges and opportunities. The Biden administration has signaled a willingness to engage with India on trade, emphasizing the importance of collaboration and mutual benefit. However, it remains to be seen whether it will roll back the tariffs imposed by the previous administration, which have been a significant point of contention. Both countries have expressed a desire to increase bilateral trade, recognizing the potential for economic growth and job creation. But achieving this goal will require addressing long-standing trade barriers, such as tariffs, regulatory hurdles, and market access issues. Finding mutually acceptable solutions to these challenges is crucial for fostering a more robust trade relationship. The outcome of the ongoing negotiations for a bilateral trade agreement will be a key indicator of the direction of the relationship. A comprehensive agreement could address many of the existing issues. A successful agreement could pave the way for a new era of enhanced trade and investment between the two countries, benefiting businesses and consumers alike. However, failure to reach an agreement could further strain the relationship, leading to increased tensions and economic uncertainty. This could result in a period of prolonged trade friction, with both sides potentially imposing new barriers and restrictions. The stakes are high, and the world is watching closely as these two economic giants navigate the complexities of global trade in an increasingly uncertain world. The decisions made in the coming months will have far-reaching implications for the global economy.